Today, November 29th, is my mother's birthday. And if she were still living, she would have been 72 today. But unfortunately, 3 years ago, she died at the age of 69. But as I was looking at the readings for today's liturgy, of course, knowing it's my mother's birthday, I couldn't help thinking about her, praying for her, and I think her spirit was very much with me as I tried to decide what to say today. My mother had come 3 years ago to visit me in New York, and we had been looking forward to her visit for a long time. And she wasn't feeling that well the week before she was going to come, but she decided she wanted to come anyway. And even though my father thought maybe she should stay home, she got on a plane and she arrived in New York, and I picked her up, and she didn't look well. I mean, she was kind of out of breath when we were walking, and unusual for someone of her age and the woman that I knew. She just didn't seem quite the same. As she was here, each day she grew progressively worse, more tired, less breath. Obviously something was wrong. Until one morning, the third day she was here, she couldn't get out of bed. And I had to take her to the emergency room of Mount Sinai Hospital. And they admitted her, and each day she grew progressively worse, just over 3 days. And on the fourth day, Passion Sunday, she died, quite unexpectedly. It was a really hard experience, obviously, for myself and for my family, because it was so unexpected. This woman who we knew to be so vibrant, so full of life, and suddenly the life had been taken to her, and she had been transported to another kind of life. And I'm reminded, not only because it's her birthday, because interestingly to me, it's what the readings speak about today. The readings are about the second coming of Christ. Now you think, by Advent, why are we talking about the second coming of Christ? We should be talking about the first coming, his birth. And yet Advent also points us to the time when Jesus comes back the second time in glory to call us all to himself. Well, that's nice theology, the second coming, but how many of us are really going to be around for the end of the world, for the end time, for that second coming of Jesus? And so in a sense, what the scripture is really talking to us about is our death when we meet Christ. It's talking to us about being vigilant during our lives so that we are ready whenever. And this is a primary theme in spirituality: being ready, being aware, being vigilant. And it is a primary theme in the scriptures. Do not be caught carousing and drunk, the scripture says. You know not the day nor the hour when you will meet your Maker. And so this Advent season asks us to look at our lives and to reflect upon how fully are we living them? Are you telling the people whom you love that you love them enough? Are you forgiving who you need to forgive? Are you doing the things in your life that you really have to do? Because we really don't know the day nor the hour. Life is very fragile, and the end can come in an instant, as I'm reminded by looking at the life of my mother. But more today, I am reminded that my mother lived life fully, every day. In some way, I feel as though every day she was ready. She used to have a saying, "Don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today." A common saying, except that she really lived it. Each day, she did what she wanted to do in the way she wanted to do it. And even though her life was taken from her at a young age and unexpectedly, there was a fulfillment about it. I never felt as though there was something unfinished or unsaid. She was ready to meet her Maker. And today I take her as my inspiration when the gospel calls me to stand ready for that second coming. I hope I can be as ready as my mother was.